Welcome back. Have you heard of the digital divide? Basically, it is the inability to access affordable internet, and it is a real deterrent to education. And the pandemic has only intensified this need, and many communities of color have been the hardest hit, with even less access to the internet than before. I spoke with WGU Washington Chancellor Tanya Drake, T-Mobile's Keisha Taylor, and WGU alum Edward Pinto.
There are many barriers to opportunity. The one that really comes to mind for me is access to technology. Our world has really been turned upside down during the pandemic, and individuals' ability to access information, learning, resources is really based on their ability to access the internet. And that digital divide has really, I think, come to the forefront of access issues. Digital equity is something that we all need to certainly be aware of. Individuals who may not have access because it's not available within the communities that they live in, or for individuals who may have access but they can't afford the monthly costs, has really shown us the importance of the areas that we need to begin to bridge that digital divide.
And one way you're working on breaking those barriers, I understand that, especially in terms of the digital divide, you're working with T-Mobile. And Keisha, can you tell me about the partnership with you and WGU?
So we started having these great conversations just about student connectivity and what are the options, right? Anytime we're talking to universities, particularly with the conversation with WGU, because the leadership team was so open and so innovative and ready to, really strategize around this issue. Started off just talking through, what does technology innovation look like? What are the opportunities for the higher education space, right? And then exploring, of course, the underlying issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a full circle conversation, and it can't be siloed into only talking about the connectivity, right? There are some underlying factors that also contribute to the lack of access. And so we have really strategically brought in our senior leadership teams and worked hard to make sure that we are talking through workforce development opportunities and opportunities to innovate and bridge the digital divide across the university.
This is an incredible partnership. Edward, I want to ask you, how have you personally overcome barriers to education and opportunity?
I graduated from a small school, Quincy, in Central Washington. In high school, I was not the greatest student. And part of that was because I did not have technology at home. I did not have a laptop. I did not have a computer. I did not have reliable internet or Wi-Fi. That was really impactful. Yeah. And because of this, I was not able to do homework at home. I had to wait to get to school to do my homework at school because that was the only place where I had reliable internet and a computer to use. So definitely at the high school level, I was impacted by that. I graduated from Central 5 years ago with my degree in Spanish education, and I became the first one in my family to graduate from college. Thank you. It was a major accomplishment for us. And I say us because I feel like it was a family thing. We worked together for this degree. My parents served as my motivation. They were my motivation. I wanted to make them proud. And my 4 younger sisters as well. I wanted to serve as a role model, as a positive role model. Mm-hmm. Last summer, I graduated with my master's in ELL through WGU. And I picked WGU because of the cost and because it was online.
So, Tanya and Keisha, I'd like to ask you kind of together to talk about, WGU and T-Mobile share similar mottos of we won't rest and we won't stop. What does that mean to both of you respectively?
Sure. We have been so delighted to work with T-Mobile. Early on, we just had some fantastic conversations, and we began to really formalize that our missions were so similar to provide access to others in so many meaningful ways. And you're right. At WGU, we won't rest until our students are successful. And that has certainly been a motto that we've shared with T-Mobile.
We do say we won't stop, right? At the university level, a lot of times recruitment and retention starts before you even get a student on campus, right? It starts at the middle school grade level. It starts, at the high school grade levels. Working with WGU has provided us opportunities to really step that up again and say, how do we leverage our existing partnerships? How do we bring in other people to this conversation and other really amazing private-public partnership opportunities, and figure out innovatively what's best for students? And WGU has stepped up, and T-Mobile has stepped up, and we won't stop.
Now, partnerships are really key to solving the digital divide, and WGU won't rest until students have the access they need. You can find out more by going to wgu.edu/King5.
I would say now is the time to act. There is no better time in history than now to complete your degree and to come out of this pandemic with a degree in hand so that you can move forward in your career with confidence and with inspiration for not only for yourself, but also for others.
The traditional college experience is not one size fits all, especially when it comes to life circumstances and budgets. Coming up next, you'll hear from an inspiring alum who, with WGU's help, was able to achieve her academic dreams. It's a can't-miss story when we come back.
This King 5 special program is sponsored by WGU Washington.